Today I'm going to be talking about Nightingale's end game progression loop, what actually happens currently at the end game in early access. Now bear in mind, as more updates to this game release, this may change, but currently this is what we can experience. Now if you do find the video useful and informative, be sure to drop me a like and subscribe down below, as that really helps out the channel. Make sure you got the notification bell on, because I'm going to be covering tons more Nightingale content here on the channel very shortly, and without further ado, let's jump into it. So obviously by the nature of this video there is going to be some spoilers, but this is the watch, and once you reach the watch there is a few more quests you can do in early access, but you are pretty much at the end game. You can see it's this lovely tower with sort of white and gold aesthetic, very cool indeed. And the first thing you'll notice is there is lots of different floors, and there is several different essence traders. Essentially the end game loop in Nightingale as of right now is these 3 apex vaults. So if you go ahead and head straight through the entrance, down the stairs and to these open doors, you will see 3 different types of portals. You've got a sand portal, a forest portal, and a kind of void portal, if you will. One of them is fighting the sun giant, one of them is fighting the Elder Earton, and one of them is fighting Janu, which is kind of like a big animal version of it there. So you obviously get the materials respectively, so the boss materials for hide, meat and bones, the wood and the Earton hearts, and then from this one you get the metal from the sun giant, as well as some other bits as well. So basically you can farm out these materials, and this is one of the quickest ways to continuously run these in order to get your tier 3 essence, and of course have all your gear upgraded to tier 3 or the epic rarity, as you can see I have got here. Now that is essentially the gameplay mechanic loop explained. You go through those, you complete a series of puzzles with a few other players, and then you end up earning essence, which you can upgrade your gear, but more importantly you can also buy some new stuff from the essence traders. Now each of these traders does sell some of the same gear, so some of it does overlap, however some of it is brand new. Between each trader they have unique items. So for example, you can see here this one has firearms, so Estelle, she has firearms here. You can see I've got the Lee Metford rifle and the Webley revolver. Webley revolver is very good, definitely get that if you haven't already done so. It's the cheapest one on there and by far my favourite so far. But you can also get a Winchester rifle, a Paradox shotgun and a Porter pistol on there as well. Additionally, you can get some realm cards, you can get the rest of your crafting and refinement things if you haven't already bought them. As you can see here, I have. You can get oil containers, and then you can of course trade resources here. So depending on the tier of resource that you're trying to buy, it will cost you certain essence of that same tier. So you can see a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 stuff in the shop right here. If we head over to these other traders just on the other side here, Francis and Jerry, you'll see that these guys, so this one has Dauntless Tools, and then Jerry has Mystic Tools. So again, they're going to be slightly different, give you different benefits. I'm not going to spoil too much for everybody, so you can go ahead and try those out for yourself. I'll have a video later on describing what they are and which ones are better once I've unlocked them and tried them out for myself. And then of course we have another essence trader over here. We have Mac. Mac gives us access to all of the different shirts, tops, gloves, hat, etc. type of gear. So Druidic and the Hermetics sets. You can see here the Druidic one and the Hermetics throughout all of these, as well as a few augmentations for this. And then we have Julius just over here, who will give us potions, cooking, augmentations again, and yeah, basically those are going to be the watch traders. Now once you reach this end game level, you'll see here back at my abeyance realm at my estate, if you go into the excellent enchanters focus, you are able to craft yourselves the ascended versions of the cards. Now bear in mind this isn't an extensive list, I haven't actually unlocked all of these yet. I've got up to Herbarium. If you go into the Herbarium one, you can buy the next card and so on and so forth, but the reason I actually haven't gone for this yet is because they don't actually increase the difficulty. If you've got this on the extreme level, 220 is going to be your highest level for right now, so it's just basically depending on what you would like to see. So you can see, for example, the Herbarium Ascended card. Play this card to seek a realm of considerable danger with miraculous plant growth fueled by the ancient Fae Guardians. Provisioner, you'll see moderate danger populated by the NTTC and their industrial refineries, and so on and so forth. Antiquarian, Astrolabe, etc. Whatever you want to play, you can basically put down, and you will get a version of that map at the maximum level that we currently have available. Now in these locations you will be able to find a lot of the end game materials, so things like gold, things like titanium, things like pursuit ingots, which if you haven't seen my previous videos on things like your crafting and also the crucial progression tips video I did, go ahead and watch those. I do talk about the crafting particularly and using different metals and whatnot for those. So you can see here the guns I have used the pursuit ingot to make, and then the rugged axe pick here that we've got. This one is used steel, but we could have used titanium or something like that as well. Any of those materials are good, but I go over that in a bit more detail in that video. But essentially, you can find your end game materials from this, which is really, really useful because that means you can build up. And as you can see from my axe pick here, you can actually get to level 230 if you put on the infusions and the enchantments. So infusions and enchantments will add to the gear score of something. And then you can get to 230, which means you can start gathering tier 5 materials. And then, of course, build a tier 5 or boss variant of these things, which again is going to be even higher gear score. And then you can start going for things like your best in slot weapons, armor and gear. One thing to note when you are going to be starting to upgrade things, obviously when you first craft them they will drop in at that common rarity. If you want to upgrade them to uncommon, of course, it costs the tier 1 essence, but then if you want to go from uncommon to rare, you do need to have tier 2 essence, which currently I am lacking in right here. I don't have 25 of it, so you will have to go back to some of the earlier realms in order to get this. And then, of course, when you're going from rare to epic, you're going to need the tier 3 essence, which is very, very easy to get your hands on once you're in endgame. And all of these ascended portals that you open will have all of the puzzles in that area giving you tier 3 essence, as well as when you're going around collecting things or killing enemies, they will drop tier 3 essences as well. Now, one final thing I wanted to cover is, as you can see from the gameplay, I'm going to cover this in a bit more depth in another tips and tricks video, but things when you're going around in these Apex dungeons or Apex raids, whatever you want to call them, the ones that are underneath at the watch. If you smash up the golden barrels, you will obviously be given the ammunition, so the different variants like the fire, the poison, the ice and the electricity. But you can also get some of the good materials that you might need for things like steel, so coal, for example, from the other regular wooden barrels. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other stuff in there as well, and some people may or may not want to spend the time smashing these up. But whilst most people are skipping them, it is a great way to get your hands on some coal, and obviously you can use that to then make your steel or your gunpowder, whatever you need it for. And that's a really, really good way. If you are running these anyway, you may as well smash up the barrels and get these. And another point with these is if you smash up the Fey chests, which is these sort of square brown boxes with the golden wood looking stuff on them, they will actually give you gilded lumber, which is going to be really important for building some of your later crafting benches, refinement benches and augments for them. So again, go and smash these up if people in your lobby are not doing so, as you will be able to gain some valuable materials, and it's going to save you a lot of time and effort in crafting these, so you can go ahead and upgrade your base and upgrade your stations, etc., for whatever else that you might need. One thing that is worth mentioning when we're talking about the essence traders is that when you actually go into the ascended realms, they will sell you recipes that are not at the watch. So for example, you can get the fire rifle cartridges, or you can get the fire pistol cartridges, same with the lightning ones, and I'm assuming the other ones as you progress through those realms as well. As well as this, they will sell you some other different augmentations, food recipes, charms, and all that good stuff. So it is worth progressing through these for that sense, because you will be able to then unlock everything that is available for you at tier 3, but in terms of level, they're not going to progress much more from that right now at the point we stand at when this video is made in early access. So hopefully you have found this video useful and informative. If you have, be sure to drop me a subscribe and a like down below. Both those things massively help out me and my channel, so I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, I will catch you guys again very, very shortly on a brand new upload. So take care and peace.